Big Rab Show Podcast is kindly sponsored by G1 Reeds. They are the champion's choice, with many bands around the world playing G1 products, providing everything you'd need to hit the circle or the big stage. So, check out g1reeds.com as they keep the lights on here at the Big Rab Show Podcast.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another Big Rab Show podcast. What a week that has been, and we have a lot of ground to cover this week. So, I'm not going to delay any further. We're going to get into this week's show. But yes, the title of this week's episode kind of does give away our topic of the week. We have another in our Meet the Band series, and this one, very special. I'm looking forward to getting into this. But before we do, let's get through our introductions though, shall we? If this is your very first ever Big Rab Show podcast, well, you are welcome. We are the show for the bagpiping folk, and we reflect everything in the bagpiping world, be it Celtic music, folk music, or indeed our bread and butter, which is competitive piping and drumming. Each and every week we're here, talking about what we know and love to be the music of the Great Highland Bagpipe and its people. Indeed. And yeah, like every other podcast under the sun, we do have a Patreon where if you do click on support, you will get your hands on loads of juicy extras. Now, I'm going to plug it again. I mentioned it last week and some people were quite confused by it, but yeah, we have a promotion over there on Patreon right now. Well, if you go and click on your show notes, you will see that, we're giving away our Fuse FM Ballymoney radio show completely free for the month of November. So there's 2 free shows up there already. Yeah, that includes last night's show as well, which was a real cracker, by the way. A real good selection of music. So, yeah, go and check out last night's Fuse FM show. It is now up there on our Patreon page, completely for free. So you can go and check that out. Click on the link. And if you do want to get all of the other extras, then, do consider clicking on support and being part of the Patreon faithful. Yeah, we love our Patreon faithful who really do help keep the wheel turning here at the Rab Show. All right, let's get into our first feature in the show, which, as always, has never changed, is listener mail. And that email address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. Now, I'm going to get into this in the news and updates, and I think a little bit in Weekly Drone, but well, do you know what? I'm actually going to tackle it now at the start. Why not? We'll get into it because the reaction from the Big Rab Show Awards has been intense. I'll say that. It's been absolutely intense. Now, for those of you who didn't listen to last week's episode or perhaps have not seen who won what at the awards last week, well, you can go and check out last week's episode. It is available. You download, you can stream it, and all that kind of stuff. And the video of which is also available on our YouTube channel. A lot of people loved that. But the reaction that we got was insane. Insanely intense. Now, I mean this from the point of view that the amount of complaints that we have received for this year's Big Rab Show Awards has really made us think twice about running the awards again. Now, I don't say that lightly. The amount of complaints that we received about bands, products, venues, locations, etc. not winning a Big Rab Show Award, I think this year has hit an all-new record. We got a serious amount of hater mail on this year's Big Rab Show Awards. Now, the majority of complaints that has come in as a result of the Big Rab Show Awards are all for those that were not nominated. Now, these came from the supporters, the people, all of that, who were complaining, we should have given an award to insert name here. And yeah, as we found, well, we went back to them, so, well, okay, yep, sorry they didn't win the award. Did you nominate them? Oh, no, I didn't know I had to. So, well, what are we supposed to do with that? If you want your favorite to win, you must nominate them, get more people to nominate them, and then encourage all of their supporters to vote. And, as we found, a lot of the complaints that we got fell down at the very first hurdle. Well, did you nominate that act, that product, that location, that band? Did you nominate them? Oh, no. Well, then what do you want? So, folks, honestly, there's been a lot of positive come from the Big Rab Show Awards. There's been a serious amount of positive. But the flip side of that coin, there's been an awful lot of negative. There's been a lot of complaining, saying the wrong people won, for example. Oh, that never should have won. Why did you pick them, etc. Again, I think I've explained it nearly to the point where I'm kind of tired of explaining it now, but it really isn't us on the Big Rab Show team that choose the finalists. It's not us that choose the winners. It really is by public vote. Yeah, it's all down to, it's a popularity competition, essentially. How many people nominated you, how many people voted for you, and that's how you get the prize at the end of it all. That's what makes the Big Rab Show Awards so different and so unique from other awards that are out there that are perhaps chosen by a panel of judges. You know, I haven't once had a panel of experts here on the Big Rab Show telling us, right, this is who should win Band of the Year, the Tone Award, the Legend Award, the coolest bass drum, that kind of stuff. There isn't a panel of experts that choose these. It's you guys listening to the show right now. You guys control the awards each and every year, and all we really do is act as a bit of a postbox. We run the awards ran by you folks listening right now. So I hope that sort of allays all of the hater mail that we got. Some of it was really quite vicious and pointing fingers and all sorts of crazy accusations against myself and all sorts of madness I don't really want to get into on the show. But all sorts of calls of shenanigans and all sorts of madness. Yeah, just, I don't know. I guess from running these awards now for years, this has been kind of the most intense reaction that we've received. And to those people who we have deeply offended or annoyed in any way, I guess it might have been a breakdown in communication on our part. We have done our best to communicate how the awards are ran each year, and it seems that a lot of that messaging got slipped through the cracks, I guess. But hi, we will do our best, for future endeavors. Will we run the Big Rab Show Awards again? I don't know. I'm doubtful. This has been one of the most brutal ones that we've done. Everyone seemed to be so passionate about it this year. And those who didn't win felt so embittered to the point of sending all sorts of crazy madness over the course of socials and on our email box. It's been intense. That's the word I'm going to keep using. To those people we didn't please, I guess we can't please everyone. But for those who did pick up, a nomination and make it through to the final, a lot of people seemed genuinely chuffed with it, and it was brilliant to see. A lot of people ran a lot of campaigns and encouraged their supporters to vote for them. And those who were lucky enough to actually step through and actually win a prize, well, I'm going to tell you a bit of a story as to what happened to me just last night. Now, the evidence of this has yet to be published online, but last night I was invited out to Drumlock Pipe Band. I was invited out to hand them their best social media prize that they won at the Big Rab Show Awards. So I packaged up the wee award and I drove off, and I went down to Drumlock Hall for their band practice last night. Now, whenever I arrived, the band hall was in complete darkness, and I was thinking, I've missed everyone, but hold on, the car park's full. What's going on? Anyway, knocked on the door, no answer, pushed the door open, and as it turned out, there was a massive... The entire band, supporters, the whole hall was filled with people, all clapping and cheering. They threw a massive celebration event at their band hall last night, and to be in the middle of that was really a shock. So it was just incredible to see, the Drumlock Pipe Band turn this into such a huge positive and a real celebration of sorts, which really brought the band together. And I got to meet their social media team behind the scenes. And it was great to see their process and how, they created some of their social media content. And as a result, of course, as I was there, I had to get involved, of course. Yeah, so snapped a few photos, maybe filmed a few cheeky videos as well. So looking forward to seeing the evidence of that on Drumlock Pipe Band's TikTok account. Yeah, so keep your eyes peeled on that one. But congratulations to Drumlock. And thank you for quite a shot in the arm, to be honest. After receiving such negative feedback about the Rab Show Awards, I had all but given up on the idea. And then to see that Drumlock Pipe Band had been, celebrating. Like, for goodness sake, they had 2... not one, but 2 celebration cakes made. All right? They had 2 cakes made. Unbelievable. So, they had food, they had drink, they had 2 celebration cakes, and everyone was dressed up to the nines. And I was standing there in jeans and trainers, for goodness sake. Such a cool moment. And thank you to Drumlock Pipe Band for inviting me down. I thought it was just a case of me dropping off the awards and, hey, there you go, thank you, that'll save me the postage. Congratulations on your award, and I'll see you next year. Well, no, that turned out to be something completely different. And for the other pipe bands and other locations and products and all of that have won Big Rab Show Awards, your award should now be in the mail to you. So if you do receive it, then, drop us a wee selfie or something and let us know that you got it. And then, we'd love to share that out on their socials if we can. Excellent stuff. So, yes, there is positives that has come from the Big Rab Show Awards, Drumlock Pipe Band being one of them. Also, when I was at band practice on Monday night with Tullylagan, I presented their award, of course, for Most Improved Bands for the Grade 4B band, which is my band. So, yes, that was kind of awkward. But, a very cool moment for everyone there in Tullylagan 4B. And, just at the end of practice, decided, hey, there you go. Just wanted to let you all know the band won. And here's the wee trophy. And that was it. So that video's up on socials now too. So there is positives to come from the Rab Show Awards, but also a lot of negatives for us to take away as well. Clearly a lot of people very annoyed. So I don't know what the future holds for the Rab Show Awards. And at this point, I'm going to leave it on a question. Ourselves and the Rab Show team, we don't know whether we should do the awards again or not. This year clearly was a record-breaking year. We literally received thousands of votes and thousands of nominations. And the Rab Show team, I believe, did do their best to work as hard as they could to get through all of it by the required deadlines. It is a huge body of work. And we hoped we managed to pull it off this year, as we do each and every year, and every vote did count. So whether we do so again next year, we want to leave it out to you folks. We want to pose the questions to the Big Rab Show audience. Do you want the Big Rab Show Awards to return again for 2026? And that's it. That's the question. So if you want to email us in, bigrabshow@gmail.com. If you have any feedback about the awards, again, if you are bitterly disappointed and wanting to throw all sorts of crazy madness our way, absolutely, you know our email address, bigrabshow@gmail.com. But do be warned, your email may well make a future episode of Hater Mail. There may already be an episode in the works. I'll just say that, and I'll say nothing more. But there you go. A lot of positives to take from the Rab Show Awards, but also a lot of negatives. So there's the question. Do we run them next year or not? All right, more listener mail away from the Big Rab Show Awards. We got a notification from the National Piping Centre actually telling us about something quite exciting that's happening. And we've promoted this now in previous years, and the event itself has just been blistering. So we want to draw your attention to it again this year. The B-Mus Piping Degree Showcase is currently selling tickets. Yeah, this is due to take place on the 9th of December in McFader Street there in Glasgow. Tickets are a tenner. Other concessions are available, of course. And if you are a student at the RCS in Glasgow, then you can go for free. So this event is curated by this year's fourth-year students, which include Andrew McCrindle, Katrina Norman, Callum Dunbar, and Kevin Beaton. Yes, now all tunes featured across this evening are going to be composed by the alumni. Yes, now that's exciting. And of course, celebrating the rich history and legacy of 30 years of piping and traditional music in higher education. So that's reading direct from the press release there. There you go. But if you are interested in attending, tickets are available. thepipingcentre.co.uk. Go and grab them. And if previous showcase events are anything to go by, this is really the future of bagpiping. The students that come through this piping degree, they're so crazy talented. And that's an exciting event right there. So that's all happening 9th of December in the National Piping Centre in McFader Street. Go and grab your tickets for that. Absolutely. So that's pretty much it for listener mail. Everything else has been sorting out sort of administrative stuff behind the scenes at ourselves in the Big Rab Show. We are currently in the works now for, December's just around the corner, isn't it? Yeah. So we have some quite special episodes lined up for you over the course of the holidays. So let the rumours begin. Who will we be talking to? What kind of special episodes could we have in front of us? Well, the Big Rab Show team have been furiously working away since the Rab Show Awards finished. Well, we're into Christmas mode now. And we've been preparing some really quite special episodes that you're going to want to stay tuned to the Rab Show over December and January. I'm just going to say that. Oh! All right, let's move on away from listener mail. If you do want to send it in again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. Okay, now, Weekly Drone is back. I got a number of requests asking, when's Weekly Drone coming back? It's this week. Now, we have a lot of Weekly Drones on the shelf, all right? JD has been flat out busy recording Weekly Drones flat out, because as you can imagine, there's been a lot happening in the scene, and we have a lot to talk about, and a lot of strong opinions have been shared on Weekly Drone. There has been 2 or 3 of the Weekly Drones received that we can't broadcast. Now, I'm not one for, slapping rules on things, but whenever you start naming names or spitting out accusations and all sorts of stuff that we can't stand over as a broadcaster, well then, those are difficult to broadcast, all right? Unless you've got something factual that you can hang your hat on rather than based on rumour and conjecture, that's where we draw the line with Weekly Drone, okay? However, it is absolutely an open microphone to the piping world. So if you do have a strong opinion on something, you can definitely share that with us. Go to our website, thebigrabshow.com, big button at the top of the page that says Weekly Drone. You can type it in, your story, warts and all, and we'll bring it to a future show. But as I've said, do try and keep it factual, not slanderous, or will not land us in any kind of legal hot water. Yes. All right. So we're going to do our best to fire through a bunch of these, because I say we do have a whole lot of them on the shelf. So JD, we're going to quick fire some Weekly Drones this week, mate. So go on ahead. Hit us with the first one then. Come on, JD. There you go.
It's the Weekly Drone.
The Big Rab Show, a.k.a. shout out for your pals. Rab, who you kidding with these awards? It's all getting a wee bit predictable with the nominations and results. Heavily Irish bias with the odd exception. Next year, you'll probably have a category for Best Northern Irish Grade 1 Band that dissolved and has the letters CLOSKELT in their name. This really gives me the ick.
Oh boy. Okay, Weekly Droner, gives you the ick. Okay, right. I had a look at the Big Rab Show Awards to see, was there an Irish/Northern Irish bias to the entire thing? Looking at all 17 awards that we dished out this year, 11 of those went outside of Northern Ireland. So 11 out of 17 left the Irish seashores, I guess. So I don't know. Perhaps the impression is that we're shouting out our mates and we're handing trophies to those who are just mates with the show. That absolutely could not be further from the case. Yeah. Again, this brings me back to the story at the beginning of the show where we just don't seem to be able to please everybody. Now, if there was an apparent bias, I guess our show is based in Northern Ireland. I've made no secret about that. I am based in Northern Ireland, and a lot of our show does focus on the local scene here in Northern Ireland. Yes, we also focus heavily on the UK scene in general as well. So you could argue that a lot of our bands and products and locations from the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and further afield don't get focused on the show here either. But it all goes down, again, on the nominations. If we received countless thousands of nominations for a venue in New Zealand, like the Jenny Mere Square Day that's coming up, then, yeah, they would be included in the Rab Show Awards. But did we receive those thousands of nominations? No, we did not. So it poses the question. It all runs down on nominations and votes. And, yeah, it's ourselves and the Rab Show who are not involved in any way. Yeah, and choosing that. So I don't know how quite to answer your weekly droner, other than apologies for giving you the ick, I guess. So as for the introduction of a new category with Klaus Kelt in the title, no. All right, let's move on. Second weekly drone, JD. Let's move it on quickly.
It's the weekly drone.
I'm shouting because I can't hear the weekly drone without turning up the volume.
Okay, weekly droner. I can see that. Yeah, there has been some previous weekly drones that JD has recorded. Now, I've said this before. JD actually records weekly drones when his little baba is asleep. Yes, JD has a young one, and as you can imagine, when that young one puts the head down for a nap, then that's when JD starts work. And you can't really be shouting and yelling about number caps and stuff whenever a kid's trying to get some sleep. So, I guess that's on us. We do our best to try and boost levels on our end. And there was JD shouting, actually, so that was a one-off. I don't think we've heard JD shout before. But yes, fair enough. We will take our licks on that one. There has been some weekly drones that the volume has not been ideal. It has been a little on the quiet side. So yeah, there you go. We'll take our licks on that one, weekly droner. Moving on, JD. There's another one on the shelf, buddy.
It's the weekly drone.
Normalize volume. Please use the normalize volume feature in your audio software before publishing the podcast. The weekly drone portions are drastically different volume than the rest of the program, and it's impossible to hear without turning the volume up in my car. Thanks.
Oh, there we go. That was another weekly drone about volume. Now, as for using the normalize feature, that's quite technical. Now, I have looked at it in my podcasting editing software, and such a normalized feature does not exist on my software. I've looked at various tutorials and all sorts of madness online as to about normalizing audio, but unfortunately, the software that I have does not provide that. The software I use is quite high-end, unfortunately, and the normalized bit, it is preferred that you do it manually. So it is on me that I did not balance out those weekly drones. Perhaps these came from one particular show. But yeah, there was a week where there was some weekly drones that were well down in the mix. And that's on me. Yeah. Oh, that's 2 weekly drones slagging off my editing. Oh, boys. All right, move on. Next weekly drone, JD.
It's the weekly drone.
Stuff that Rab got right. Well, Rab, if this week has taught us anything, it's that you were right when you said that the bands at the top of grade 2 can do anything the bands in grade 1 can do.
Ah, come on. Weekly droner, come on. Yeah, I know that's a joke with a jag. Obviously, talking about the situation there with the Vale of Atholl Pipe Band and their announcement to stand down from competition in grade 2. Yeah, a joke in bad taste, my friend, whoever you may be out there. Honestly, I think it is still really quite bitter news for the folks there at the Vale. Our heart still goes out to them. Although I do know that the band now are furiously focusing behind the scenes and continuing to prepare for this incoming season. Whereas they won't be stepping into the circle in Grade 2, but they still will have a presence in the competition circle. So, yeah, I do wish the Vale well. But Weekly Droner, I'm afraid that's in bad taste right there, and I politely disagree. But, JD, come on, we're quick firing these. Let's get another one.
It's the weekly drum.
Attracting new lead tips. Rab and others have talked about Kloskelt and John Stone being unable to attract a new lead tip. There is zero talk about bands at all levels failing to succession plan and grow their own.
A succession plan. That's a good question, Weekly Droner. Now, I do know that working in a succession plan and growing your own, as you've said there, is more of a thing in the lower grade bands. Now, whether that's a case of higher player turnover in lower grades, I'm not sure. I do know from my time of playing in the higher grades that that definitely has not been a focus. You know, that we don't actively sit around and think, well, we're going to spend one season with this current lead tipper, and then, but what about in 5 years' time? We need to start looking internally now as to who's going to take up the role in 5 years. It doesn't work like that. I believe in, especially Grade 2, Grade 1, you work on a season-by-season basis. Whenever the season begins, you're already starting to think about next year. So you're always working kind of 1 year ahead of yourself. That's pretty much my experience as to how far down the road you would look in pipe bands. Now, I don't know, times might have changed. It's been a while since I've competed in those couple of top flights, you know. So I don't know whether focus has changed nowadays. But that has been my experience, that you kind of only ever work 1 year ahead of yourself. And that planning, that succession planning, I don't believe is part of it. It's a fair question to ask, though, because I do know, especially in lower grades, that you do have that longer-term view. And for instance, if you're competing in Grade 3B, well, obviously your ambition then is to continue on for 3B to 3A, 2, and eventually Grade 1, if you have such ambition. Also, same could be said for 4B bands, 4B to 4A to 3B to 3A, and you're wanting to climb that ladder. So, looking internally and, yeah, looking at that succession plan could be more of a focus for lower grades. So, I don't know. That's an interesting conversation, Weekly Droner. I don't know if it is a consideration for top flight bands, but I do think that this has definitely drawn that into focus. And perhaps a lot more of our big guns, I guess, in both Grade 2 and Grade 1 will now be looking at this and thinking, well, if we had have done some long-term planning here, that might have avoided the situation that we're in. Yeah, would have had fixed the problem entirely? I doubt it, but would it have helped at least? Don't know. That's arguable. JD, that's a good one. We're going to finish on one more. Go on ahead. Give us one more before we get into everything else.
It's the weekly drum.
RSPBA Greed. 3 bands gone, 2 Grade 1, and 1 3A that we know of. What does the RSPBA do? Up the membership fee. Pure greed. I agree with Rab. Kerr's hornpipe jig was the best I have ever heard in over 60 years playing and listening. Took a big risk. Last part of jig could have gone so wrong.
Okay, that was kind of a two-parter right there. So the first part then, talking about RSPBA greed. Now, this was something that we knew was coming. This did not come as a huge surprise, so bands were kind of aware of it. They knew that this raise in band fees was coming. It was talked about at the AGM. Bands kind of said, well, if we can put it off for a year, great. And then we know what's coming down the road. So that's what happened. It got put off for a year, and here we are now, November, pay your fees. Here's your increase. Now, I can't say that the increase was astronomical by any means. It was definitely kind of a, what do they call them, cost of living increases, I guess. Things have only ever got more expensive. And yeah, this increase, Yeah, I guess some people can view it as a bit of a cash grab, but it's not really when you consider this cash grab was notified well over a year in advance. So bands were well aware of it, and it shouldn't have come as a surprise. However, there was those bands out there that it did come as a surprise, and obviously a lot of the toys were thrown out of the pram, I guess. But a lot of bands will reluctantly still pay their fees, I guess, and be prepared and ready to compete for this incoming season. So, yeah, that takes care of the first part. It is unfortunate timing. I do get it. But the downfall of so many different bands now deciding to dissolve and step away from competition, it does seem like very poor timing, where the RSPBA are now stepping in and going, hi, we know that bands are falling away and all of that and stepping away from the circle, but hi, can you pay us more money? Yeah, it does. It reads like that, doesn't it? And I can understand the frustration from that weekly droner there. Yeah, but as I say, this was well notified, well in advance. We knew it was coming. It shouldn't have been a huge shock. Moving on to the second part of that, he's talking about Kerr McQuillan. Yeah, we were talking about Kerr McQuillan and the world drumming solos on Fuse FM Ballymoney, and we were telling people about Kerr McQuillan's specific his hornpipe and jig performance, which was just electric. If you haven't seen it yet, I don't know where you've been, but for those fans of solo drumming, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've probably seen the performance now a few times. It is something special, where Kerr McQuillan did actually take a lot of musical risks, and they paid off in spades, man. Absolute spades. So if you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's a really dynamic performance, one of which is really enjoyable to watch. Even if you don't know much about drumming, you can tell that there's a serious amount of technique there and an amount of work involved in that. Whew. And I bet Kerr McQuillan was nervous himself with that. You know, I did think he genuinely took some risks there. And some judges would really love what he did musically, and others maybe not so much. They could be a little bit more traditional in their approach, but took the gamble, and it definitely paid off. The execution was fantastic. So I know I'm talking about drumming, and all the pipers right now are tuning out, but yeah, I've watched that run from Kerr McQuillan now at the World Solos a bunch of times, and it's electric. It's so good. So go and check it out. Yes, that's what our weekly drone's talking about there. We were debating that on Fuse FM there a couple of weeks back. And you can go and listen again on Patreon. Hey, what about that for a shameless plug? Yay! Wee. I love a good shameless plug. So there you go. Go and check that out on Patreon. You can go and listen to that debate that we had on Fuse FM on our Patreon account. There you go. Right, folks, that's it for our introductions. We covered a lot of ground there. 6 weekly drones in total, and we're nowhere near done. There's a pile of them still on the shelf. But if you do want to send in your own weekly drone, of course, on anything we talk about here in the show or anything we haven't talked about here in the show, then send them in to us. thebigrabshow.com, that big button at the top of the page, weekly drone. Let us know your thoughts and feelings, warts and all, and we'll bring it here to a future show. All right. That's it for the introductions. I'm going to take a little short break at this point, but I'll be right back with all of the news and updates after this. Ever wish you had a piping teacher on call 24/7? Well, now you do. Introducing the Interactive Player, a game-changing new practice tool at Dojo University. Play along with world champion pipers while the notes on your sheet music light up in time. Loop tricky phrases, slow down tough sections, zoom in to focus, and build speed automatically. It's like having a teacher right in your practice room, showing you how to master every tune at your own pace. So, sign up for a free trial today at pipersdojo.com and start learning smarter with Dojo U's Interactive Player. Marchify, the brand new home of Flam 5 drumming. Check out their brand new Strike bagpipe case, inspired by their colourful, popular and reliable Flam 5 drum cases. The Strike bagpipe case combines durability, style and practicality, protecting every movement. Shop now at marchify.co.uk with worldwide shipping available. Marchify, every movement protected. And we're back. And the story that I want to lead with this week is a story I've been kind of putting off talking about because I know there's going to be people out there calling me sappy and emotional and all that kind of stuff, but this genuinely means a lot to me and the Rab Show team. We need to talk about the Scots Trad Music Awards. Now, we did drop it into conversation last week at the Rab Show Awards, and very briefly on Fuse FM last night, we were talking about it. The Scots Trad Music Awards 2025 are kind of seen as like the Oscars of the traditional music scene here in the UK. It's got a massive deal to even be in the room. Now, you may well remember, those of you who have been listening to the show for long enough, that ourselves in the Big Rab Show, we received a nomination back in 2022. And it was for traditional music in the media. And yeah, you talk about a heart-stopping moment when we got the news that we had been nominated. That was such a highlight. I don't think I can really put it across in words just how much that meant to all of us at that time. In 2022, obviously we were coming out of a pandemic and everything. We had done what we can to keep the scene rolling, and then things were gradually getting back to normal around that time. It meant the world to us back then to actually head to the Trad Awards in Dundee to attend the event and be in the room with some absolute giants in the trad scene. We were so starstruck. We were sitting in there like celebrity spotting. It was nuts. Myself and Deej McIntosh attended the trads back then in 2022, and genuinely, it's a night that we will never forget. For all the right reasons. We pretty much sat next to each other during the entire event, which was all televised live, by the way. We just sat there going, oh my God, look at that. That's him. That's it. Wow. Deej and me practically were running around with an autograph book. We were just like big kids. It was so much fun. Yes, we did get nominated. So to be in the conversation, to hear our name being read out at the Trad Awards as a nominee was surreal. It didn't seem real. It still doesn't seem real, to be honest. Listening back to it. You can go back and listen to that episode, by the way. We did manage to record an episode. I don't know how I managed to take a recorder into the room with me, but we did manage to capture quite a bit of audio from the night and interviews and stuff from the trads. It was just such a special night. So, yeah, that was back in 2022. Well, folks, we have been nominated again this year in 2025. Now, obviously, back in 2022, we didn't win. But even just to hear our name read out as the nominee was just epic. And here we are again, 2025. Lightning has struck twice. It's honestly, folks, just incredible. It does genuinely mean the world to us here on the Big Rab Show team. When we did get the news about our nomination for the trads, we were just beside ourselves. We were like, are they sure? Again? Are you kidding? Oh my God. It was something else. So, yeah, for those of you who know about the trads, you know just how big a deal this is. You know, there's tons of awards all across this. Our category is actually the last on the voting page. So that doesn't make it good whenever we're trying to encourage people to vote for us, because we are the very last category on the voting page. But minor complaint, there's 23 categories in here. Now, our bagpiping world is pretty well represented here at the trads this year. So, you know, we have Scottish Pipe Band of the Year. We have tons of great, like Musician of the Year, I think has been nominated for Lauren McDougall. Yeah, that Lauren McDougall. And so there's tons of great piping talent all across, including the nominations for Scottish Pipe Band of the Year up there too. And obviously ourselves, the Big Rab Show, we are nominated for category number 23, which is Trad Music in the Media again. Now, our fellow nominees in here are kind of big guns, to be honest. And to be in this category, in the same conversation as these shows, is just... it melts my head. We're up against such a show as Take the Floor from BBC Radio Scotland. Now, for anyone who knows about Take the Floor, Come on. Like, that show, that is an institution. Seriously. And it has a massive fan base all across Scotland and the UK and the world in general. It's an absolute powerhouse of traditional music in the media, and just to be, I don't know, to see our name next to it just looks ludicrous, to be honest. Also, we have in there is Oran Ur, which is a radio Nagelga show showcasing Gaelic song, specifically new Gaelic song, and that's what kind of puts it at the forefront of the Gaelic language traditional music output in particular. It's been really fascinating listening to that show over this last year or so. It's been really, really good. So, again, to see our name in the mix here doesn't make logical sense to me. You know, that our own wee piping show is in the middle here, but we're there. The Big Rab Show has been nominated along with Take the Floor and Oran Ur. And, to represent our bagpiping world in such a category, honestly, it's a real privilege, and that isn't lost on us. To now have received our second nomination for the Trad Awards, it's just, that's an absolute highlight right there. I don't think we can top. The only way we can top it is if we win it. Now, I'm under no illusion that we are up against some proper big shots here. These shows are just next level, all right? They're proper big production companies and stuff, and we can't compete with that. But what we do hope to compete, is with our representation of our piping scene in the best way possible. We believe that even having our name in the mix there in the first place does draw attention, and a lot of people were going, oh, what's the Big Rab Show? And then they would kind of, Google around and find our link and stuff and go, oh, this is all about bagpiping. Oh, look at all this cool stuff. Oh, they're talking about piping and drumming, and oh, look at that. Right? Do you get it? Then more people get invested in the piping scene, what we're talking about, and may even attend an event, a competition, and hey, who knows, might even pick up a practice chanter or a pair of sticks. You never know what the future holds. So, to have our name in that conversation, it is a huge privilege. So to everyone who did send in nominations and stuff to the Trads, thank you. Genuinely, thank you. From all of us here in the Big Rab Show, to even have our name on the listings is a huge honor. But next comes the call to action, as they say. Yeah, we need your support. The Trad Awards are kind of similar to the Big Rab Show Awards from that regard. Nobody can win anything without the public vote. Now, when you consider that the Trad Awards attracts at least over 100,000 public votes every year, every single vote counts. So that's where I'm asking you now. If you listen to my voice on this show at any point, please listen now. We would love your support for the Trad Awards. Now, the reason I'm being particularly pointed about this is because, well, the voting closes on Sunday, the 16th of November. And the point of you listening to this is now the 12th of November, so you only have a few days left to actually go and place your votes. And we would encourage both yourself listening right now, but of course, all of your bandmates, your band supporters, of course, all of your bagpiping mates, please do encourage them to go and vote for the Big Rab Show at the Scots Trad Music Awards. Yeah, we were in this room before, and it was such a pinch-me moment that it still seems like a mad dream. We're looking forward to the award ceremony again in Aberdeen this time, and that's all taking place on the 6th of December in the Aberdeen Music Hall. And ourselves in the Big Rab Show, we will be there, of course, and we are clinging on to hope that we can gather enough support from our bagpiping world to help us push ourselves over that finish line and actually walk away with one of the most prestigious awards in traditional music. So, as we fly the flag for bagpiping at the Trad Awards, we hope that we can count on your support. So please do consider going over there. There's a link in your show notes right now. Just search for it, Scots Trad Music Awards 2025, and there's links all up there. And then, yes, we understand. You have to skip all the way. Or you can look at all the other categories, of course, as well. But our category is at the very end of the voting sheet, which is not ideal. But yes, category number 23, trad music in the media, please do take some time right now. You can pause your podcast and come right back, and then, be safe in the knowledge that you've placed a vote for us in the trads. We would really love your support. Doesn't cost you anything, doesn't cost a dime. All you need to do is spend a minute or two and then vote for ourselves, the Big Rab Show at the Scots Trad Music Awards. And then once you've done that, encourage all your mates to do it as well, and maybe do it again 2 or 3 times, 5, 6 times, then 12 times, 15 times. There you go. So, who knows? If we manage to gather enough support, the next time I could be talking to you about the Trad Awards, we could be standing here as award winners. But who knows? But that's pie in the sky, to be honest. Looking at who we're up against some proper powerhouses. So even to be in the conversation, folks, is a huge honor. And thank you again to everyone who placed nominations for us. It's a massive deal for all of us in the Rab Show team. We're so chuffed to be involved in this year's Trad Awards. Yeah, just incredible. Thank you. All right, I think we've spent long enough on that particular news story. Time to fly on. Let's get into the bread and butter then, Rab. Okay, well, yesterday was Armistice Day, of course. And, of course, before that was Remembrance Sunday. And, we're aware of a lot of pipe bands, pipers, drummers, who were all involved in various commemorations all across both the UK and around the globe, for that matter. So, just a huge thank you to everyone who did post those performances and parades and various different appearances. Thanks to those who posted them online. We've done our best to share those out whenever we spotted them. And just shout out to all of you. There's been a serious amount of piping, and the bagpiping world has been well represented all across, commemorations all across. It's just been really fantastic to watch. Fair play to all of you pipers. Some of you did play in some quite awful conditions, mind you. The weather wasn't that good, to say the least. But shout out to all of you that were involved in all sorts of commemorations. It's an important thing to do, and to have the bagpipes represented as well, which can really convey a lot of emotion at events like this. It is important to those people who attend, and to all of us bagpipers as well. It's important to see that the pipes are played well. And so far, every performance I've seen has been fantastic. There you are. So, just wanted to recognize that on this week's show. Thank you to everyone. And, an event well marked, I think. Okay, I wanted to mention a little fun news story, I guess. This happened in Melbourne in Australia. Don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but there's been an official world record set. Have you seen this? A world record bagpiping gathering where 374 bagpipers gathered together and performed a rendition of AC/DC, It's a Long Way to the Top. Yeah, you all know the tune, of course, by now. You get it. So it's not the most complicated tune in the world. And a lot of bagpipers that do get requested to play it say, well, yeah, that's a rock and roll tune and it's exciting, but it's not exciting without the guitars and the drums and everything else that goes with it. But anyway, 374 bagpipers gathered together in Melbourne for this world record attempt, and the ages ranged from 14-year-old all the way up to 98 years old. Wow. So, yeah, just shout out to everyone there in Melbourne City. You can go and check it out online. There's been tons of videos posted from it, as well as official news sources from Melbourne and Australia who have now set this epic world record. 374 bagpipers. Imagine what that would be like, trying to keep all of that together. I think they're probably very thankful that It's a Long Way to the Top is a very simple bagpipe tune. Go and have a listen to it, and you can draw your own conclusions. And, where'd that trombone come from? Go and check it out. But shout out to everyone involved in that huge record attempt. That's quite a cool thing to do, to be honest. Now, will that record be topped? Will it be broken again? Who knows? But that's quite a lot of bagpipers. Not going to lie. 374. That's a lot. That's a big tone right there. A lot of drones to tune as well. So go and check it out. Yeah, shout out to Melbourne. That's quite a cool moment right there. All right, another news story, Rab. Okay, just wanted to give a shout out to the Livy Invitationals. Yes, that solo drumming event. We've been talking about it on Fuse now for a few weeks. Their draw for the Livy Invitationals just yesterday has a it has a revision. Apparently there's been someone drop out or someone else join and all that kind of stuff. There's been moving and shaking in that regard. We have published the new revised draw for the solos. They are available now on the Big Rab Show on socials. So if you are going to be attending the Livy Invitationals, well, can I say this, that you're lucky? Because that event sells out every year. This event's no different. This one's completely packed out. You can't get in through the door. So that's next weekend, actually, the Livy Invitationals. So, yeah, we've read the list, of course. The draw is available now on the Big Rab Show on socials. And, yeah, ourselves in the Big Rab Show, we will be there. And we'll be covering every aspect of this. And, yeah, we'll be having, the MSR competition plus the freestyle. All of those videos will be up on our YouTube channel after the event has happened. Yeah. So if you're going, have the best time. Just know that there's a queue of people that would have loved to have went as well, but can't. You can't get tickets for it. So enjoy yourself. But all the competitors as well, best of luck to you. 10 in total there taking part in the freestyle. So yeah, the freestyle event is where it's at. I think that's where a lot of fun is had for sure. So good luck everyone there at the Livy Invitationals. And yeah, we'll keep you updated on a future Rab Show as to who won what. But if you do want to be kept across all the detail, of course, then yeah, check out the Big Rab Show on YouTube. Well, those videos will see the light of day. There you are. All right, let's move on. Okay, I'm going to give a brief mention this week to the Causeway Coast Piping Society, who've announced their guest piper for the month of November. Yeah, their guest piper this month is Mark Hassan. Yes, now you may well know Mark quite well. Of course, he was the pipe major of Columkill Pipe Band. He was also a member there recently this past season with Manor Cunningham. Yeah, and, well, they've also announced it on their socials, I guess, that Mark Hassan now will be playing with St. Lawrence O'Toole this incoming season for 2026. So that's exciting. So, yeah, Mark will be there at the Causeway Coast Piping Society, putting on quite an interesting rendition. I'm looking forward to that. So, yeah, shout out to Mark. That's exciting. And for more details, of course, go and check out the Causeway Coast Piping Society on their socials, where they have all the dates and everything for you to attend this upcoming recital. Good stuff. And, yeah, shout out to Mark. That's going to be exciting there. Looking forward to that. Okay, I wanted to give a shout out to some, recruitment news, I guess. The Vale of Atholl pipe band that we mentioned earlier on at the start of the show, thanks to that tasteless weekly drone, they are in recruitment mode for both bands. Yeah, so if they are wanting to join the ranks of the Vale of Atholl, door is open. So yeah, go and contact them. Also wanted to mention the Royal Borough of Annan pipe bands are currently seeking a bass drummer. Yeah, now they put it out on their socials just this past week saying that due to unforeseen circumstances, the Royal Borough of Annan Pipe Band are now seeking a new bass drummer. They're looking for a talented and motivated player, and yeah, they do reiterate that this is quite an exciting opportunity to play in a top grade 2 band alongside some real dedicated and like-minded musicians. There you are. So yeah, shout out to the Royal Borough of Annan, and yeah, good luck on the bass drummer hunt. Do you know what? Finding a good bass drummer sometimes can be like finding gold, It's a bass drummer is a vitally important part of a pipe band, I would argue. So, yeah, good luck to anyone wanting to tick up that challenge. But, yeah, we're interested to see who they managed to get appointed in that role. So, yeah, shout out to the Royal Borough. Okay, also wanted to mention about Winter Storm. Yeah, believe it or not, folks. Winter Storm in Kansas City is just around the corner. You might think, it's not for months yet. Well, it's just around the corner. January 15th through 18th is Winter Storm. Now, they haven't announced a great deal about this year's Winter Storm yet. They are keeping their cards close to their chest. But what they have announced so far is, hotel information and registration for rooms and things like that. They're available right now. So if you do want to attend Winter Storm and you perhaps are looking for a hotel room, well, now's your opportunity. Go now to Winter Storm on their socials. They have all the links and everything there for all their discount room rates, all that stuff, and as well as some event information and things that you might need as well if you are attending. So go and check that out. There is a special Winter Storm group rate available as well. I did want to mention that. So if you and your bandmates also want to attend, then now's a good opportunity. So go get your registrations in. Avoid disappointment. You guys know Winter Storm is an absolute sellout every year. So avoid disappointment. Get in early. Get your registrations in. And yeah, thanks to the Midwest Highland Arts Fund for the heads up on this. But yeah, January 15th through 18th, Winter Storm. It's about to open its doors again, folks. And yeah, all of us here stuck in the UK can look on with jealousy. Do you know what? I love Winter Storm and I hate it in equal measure. Because of the FOMO, the fear of missing out. Yeah, I am one of those people who watch everything online from Winter Storm, and I just sit at home in the freezing cold. Oh, man, I wish I was there, you know? And who knows, one of these years I will actually make the trip. I keep saying it every time. It is on my bucket list. I absolutely want to get the Winter Storm. The event seems to get bigger and better every year. I just don't know how they're going to top last year, though. Yeah, 2025 was a big one. So anyway, looking forward to 2026. So yeah, get your registrations in for your hotels, all that kind of stuff. It's available now up on their website. Details for your stay and all of that. Going up there now. Go and get it. All right, there you are. You've been warned. Okay, I wanted to give a shameless plug this week for an upcoming celebration evening. Yes, I love these. Now, this is being hosted by the County Armagh Drum Majors. Have you seen this? Yeah, they've been advertising it now on their socials now for a number of weeks. This is happening on the 15th of November in Portadown Town Hall. And yeah, this is going to be such a cool night because we have Derry Fubble Accordion Band. We have Drumlock Pipe Band will be there. We have the Soulless Highland Dancers. We are fantastic, by the way. We also have singer Catherine McKeown. What? Yep, that Catherine who performed at the Kids with Cancer now. Wow. Absolutely brilliant. Looking forward to that. We also have the William Kerr Memorial Pipe Band will be there as well. There you are. So shout out to the County Armagh Drum Majors. That's going to be quite an exciting night. For full information, of course, you can email them, which is County Armagh Drum Majors at gmail.com. I'm just reading my script here. So CO Armagh Drum Majors at gmail.com. There you go. Or, of course, you can contact them on their social media and grab tickets for it. So, yeah, apparently it is... Yeah, tickets are strictly required for entry. All right? Yeah. So there you go. For more information, check out the County Armagh Drum Majors and their celebration evening. That sounds exciting right there. There you go. All right, let's move on. Okay, you might have heard a little advert earlier on in the show for Marchify. Yes, Marchify and their brand new Strike bagpipe case. Yeah. Now, we've been talking about that now on the show for a few weeks, and they have... I don't know, they've drawn quite a lot of attention online for this brand new pipe case. We haven't really had much of an opportunity to talk about it here on the show, but I did want to draw your attention to a giveaway. Yes, they're running a giveaway. So, yeah, for those of you who are following Marchify on socials, yes, they are the new home for Flam 5 drumming. Yeah, those of you who know those Flam 5 cases, well... The new home for Flam 5 is now called Marchify. And yeah, they now have this new exciting brand for bagpipers called Strike. So go and check it out. The giveaway that they're running is the usual sort of social media fare. And your prize is you can either win a grey or blue Strike case. Yeah. Now, dates for the giveaway actually close tomorrow at the point of me recording this. So the 13th of November... the giveaway closes, and yeah, it'll be drawn live on Instagram. So if you do want to potentially win yourself a free bagpipe case, well then head over to Marchify on their socials and enter their free giveaway. Yeah, these cases look amazing. And full disclosure, I do know that they support us here in the Big Rab Show, but I've actually bought one of these myself. I'm in the market for a new pipe case, and I needed one because my last one got kind of damaged at the Worlds. Long story. But yeah, needed a new pipe case, so I thought, hey, I'll buy one of these new cool ones and get a look at it. So I am hoping that mine will arrive in the mail pretty soon. And then, yeah, I do hope to do a bit of a video review of the new Strike case in the coming future. So for those of you who are curious about what this case is all about, what it looks like, how it works, whenever you throw your pipes in it, are they all going to fall out? What's the crack? So yeah, I will hopefully be producing a full review video of this. So yeah, shout out to Marchify and their giveaway on their socials. Do make sure you're following Marchify on their socials. Yeah, a lot of their stuff on there is just fantastic. All right, let's move on. Okay, for those of you who are aware of Russell Essler Drumming, or RED as they're affectionately known, well, you know that the Rogue drum pad and their bag, their rucksack, both got nominated for a Big Rab Show Award. Well, recently they've announced on a fellow podcast called the Drum Score Podcast, they announced a brand new drum pad. Yeah, have you seen this? Yeah, it's called just the Next Gen Rogue Practice Pad. And they've also introduced another one called the Red Magnet as well. Have you seen these? Now, I don't know. These are drum pads that really seem futuristic. Now, as to what the Red Magnet is, I'm absolutely fascinated. I don't know what it is, but the new generation of Rogue pad looks absolutely brilliant, with the red inlay and everything. Very cool. If you haven't seen it yet, shout out to Russell Essler Drumming or to Red. Go and check it out. And the brand new Rogue practice pad and, of course, the Red Magnet. That looks fascinating. I'm very curious as to what that is. Anyway, so yeah, for those drummers listening right now, you're probably, oh, Rob, for goodness sake, you know what it is. I don't. You look at it, it just looks like a red practice pad, but there's magnets in it or something. Looks pretty cool. I'm not sure how it works, so I'm curious. Yeah, go and check that out. But yeah, shout out to Red, Russell Essler Drumming, and 2 brand new products there to enjoy. Great stuff. Okay, I'm going to briefly mention about Oban High School Pipe Band, who were recently on stage with Celtic music powerhouses Skeravor. Don't know if you've managed to see this, but they've uploaded videos of their performance and to an absolute packed house. And yeah, the Oban High School Pipe Band folks seem to have a whale of a time. And shout out to Skeravor for hosting them. It was just such a cool moment to be on such a massive stage. Wow. And yeah, shout out to Oban High School. What a cool moment. Go and check it out. It's on their socials. Such a cheer they got from the crowd. But the tune that they played, man. Oh, my word. It was something else. Anyway, go and check that out. Shout out to Oban High School. Very cool moment there. Okay, I'm going to briefly talk about the Sunbelt Invitational Piping Competition, which took place there in Orlando in Florida on the 8th of November, just a wee while ago. And the results of which, yeah, I'm sure by now you've probably already seen. But congratulations to Angus D. McCall, who was the overall winner, of course, on the event itself. Now, the winner of the Pembroke was Angus. Yeah, and the winner of the medley competition was actually Alan Tully from St. Lawrence Tool. There you are. So, yeah, again, such a stellar event. I know we haven't had much time to talk about it this year. Unfortunately, that's on us, just the way the Rab Show Awards worked this year. It sort of clashed with it, so apologies. But yeah, that Sunbelt Invitational competition seems to be getting bigger and better every year, And when you look at the lineup of competitors they had this year, that was something else. Like Angus, who won it overall, Angus D. McCall. We had Nick Hudson in there, Willie McCallum, Finlay Johnson, Bruce Gandy, Alan Tully. Come on. It was mad. So, yeah, the standard on display here at this event was just absolutely stellar. And, yeah, well done to everyone for running such a cool event. And, yeah, we've yet to see performances from this. We have seen little clips and stuff, but nothing substantial. So if anyone is aware of performance videos from that, the Sunbelt Invitational, then please do send them on to us. We'd love to share them out with our listeners if we can. Yeah. So share that with us if you can. All right. Okay. I wanted to give a mention this week to an event that's happening on the 13th of February. Yeah. The day before Valentine's Day. It's the Peter MacLeod Memorial Recital. And yeah, this is quite exciting for a number of reasons. Yeah, the recital is being held, of course, by Stuart Little, MBE. What? Yeah, and Cameron May of Colburn IOR. Wow. So that's going to be an all sorts of incredible event. And also, they're also going to feature a quartet from the 16-time World Pipe Band champions, Shots and Dykehead, Caledonia. Incredible. Yeah, so this is all going to be held in the Archie Working Men's Social Club, of course, in Ardrey. So if you are curious at all and wanting to find out more information, you can go to eventbookings.com and just follow the links and everything for such. And yeah, the Peter MacLeod Memorial Recital. That's going to be a very special night. Yeah. So much great piping on offer there. So ticket information all available on that. Eventbookings.com, and tickets are 20 quid. There's a concession of 15 as well. And yeah, what's not to love about that? We've shared out the link, of course, so you can go and check that out. Or you can even visit Dan Nevin's Piping, where he's shared out the details as well for tickets and where to go and get them and stuff. But yeah, that's going to be an exciting night there. Looking forward to that. Okay, another little news story then. You may well have seen in recent news, well, I'm talking about the Trad Awards, of course. It's always around this time of year that we do see people elected to the Scots Trad Music Hall of Fame. And this year has been elected Colin McClelland. Yes, Colin McClelland has been, put into the Scots Trad Music Hall of Fame, which is just amazing. It's such an amazing honor. To Colin, congratulations from all of us on the Big Rab Show. I think it's definitely well deserved. And for those interested, you can go to pipesdrums.com. There has been an interview recorded with Colin about this appointment to the Trad Music Hall of Fame and just what it means to him. And it really is quite special. So, shout out to Colin McClelland. Congratulations on your election to the Scots Trad Music Hall of Fame for a lifetime of work in piping. It's definitely well deserved. And just congratulations from all of us here in the Rab Show team. Okay, well, I believe we've covered a lot of ground already on this week's show. I think it's time for us to move on. But if there is anything that has hit the cutting room floor and you do believe, hey, Rob, you never talked about that there, you boy. Well, then email us in, bigrabshow@gmail.com. Let us know what we haven't spoke about or what we should talk about. And we'll bring it to a future show. bigrabshow@gmail.com. All right, I think you've waited long enough at this point. Yeah, you guessed it. It's time for me to go and get myself a big cup of tea. It's time for the topic of the week.
Ready to take your playing to the next level? Say hello to the ES Session Chanter, the ultimate practice chanter designed for versatility and durability. Crafted from stainless steel and aluminium, the chanter comes equipped for both an A stem and a B flat stem, giving you the freedom to play along with any instrument, anytime, anywhere. Whether at a band practice or a trad session, the ES Session Chanter keeps pace with your creativity. Included with the chanter is the custom carbon carry case, the perfect addition to this compact and tactile instrument. To get yours, head to essessionchanter.co.uk. Kingdom Thistle Pipe Band supplies for all your pipe band and marching band needs. Supplying everything from uniforms and instruments to custom designed bass drum heads. They offer it all. Not forgetting their exclusive Kingdom Gilly Brogues and George Boots, crafted by bands for bands. Kingdom Thistle provides expert product advice and an industry-leading drum refurbishment service to keep your equipment in top-class condition. Also shipping worldwide. So stop by their store in Fife or visit them online at kingdomthistle.com for all your pipe band and marching needs.
Hello, this is Kerr McQuillan and you're listening to The Big Rab Show.
Yes, indeed. Time for Topic of the Week. And you might have guessed by the title of this week's episode, we're going to be catching up with New Ross and District. Now, this is a band with a storied history, and one of which I have been really enjoying following over this last number of years. The music that has been coming from the New Ross and District Pipe Band has just been amazing, especially for fans of New Ross. It just seems to be each season gets more exciting for the band. And I'm so glad that they reached out to us to, hey, Rob, you want to meet the band? Come on ahead and talk to Brian. He knows all about us. So, this was recorded a wee while ago, as you can imagine. These were all sort of recorded halfway point, or maybe at the beginning of the season. And, such a golden opportunity to catch up with Brian McMahon, first of all, but also to hear the story of New Ross and District. So, without further ado, let's get into this week's Topic of the Week and welcome Brian McMahon to the Big Rab Show. Brian, how are you? Are you well?
I'm very good. Thank you, Rab. Yeah, thanks for the invitation. Much appreciated.
Oh, here. I'm looking forward to the conversation. I'm sure the title of this kind of gives it away as to what we're going to be chatting about. But can we first of all chat a bit about yourself? Obviously, you'd be quite a well-known name in Irish circles. Yeah.
I'm not, well, I don't know. I've been chair of the Irish Pipe Band Association for the last 9 or 10 years. Prior to that, I was vice chairman for a few years. Prior to that, I was the national secretary for 10 years.
There you are. So you've been involved in bands for a little while. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason we have you on, of course, is we want to talk about New Ross and this week. So can you tell us then about the band itself? How did it all begin?
I played with a pipe band called St. Kevin's Pipe Band in Bray, County Wicklow.
Mm-hmm.
That's about 12 miles south of Dublin city centre. And we were down at a competition in New Ross in 1972. It was the All-Ireland, the first time they held it in New Ross. And I met a girl, walked her home. Later, a couple of years later, became my wife. So I was just going into teacher training at the time. So I was down in New Ross then, Easter 74. And I called over to a local school and I asked, it was a Christian Brothers school, and knocked on the door and said, "Are there any vacancies?" And they said, "Yeah, sure. We'll start you in September." And grant. So that was that bit sorted out. And then I was thinking of competing in the All-Ireland Solos that year. I didn't in the end because I couldn't get enough practice done. But I brought my pipes down to New Ross every one weekend. And I was playing out in my fiance's back garden. And 2 doors down was a young chap who had played in a local band that was already in existence, the FCA pipe band in New Ross. That would be the Territorial Army, if you like. Right. And so wind got out, there's a fella arrived in town who could play bagpipes. And so I was walking, minding my own business one day downtown. I was just after starting teaching, and this guy came up to me, Pat Gorman was his name. He was a drummer, and he said, "Would you like to start a girls' pipe band in New Ross?" I said, "Okay, no way, no, thanks very much." And I said, "Why a girl?" But at the time, the Territorial Army FCA band, they could only take guys from 17 years up. Right. So I was persuaded to go to the local workman's club that October, and I was 1 month shy of my 21st birthday. And I walked out of the club that night, and I was the treasurer of the newly formed New Ross District Pipe Band.
Just like that.
I actually proposed that name. I didn't want any kind of a Saint this or a Kennedy that, or, you know. And we had a simple constitution. The band would be non-sectarian and non-political. And they had made me the pipe major as well. I was 20 years of age. Wow. I hadn't a clue what I was going to do.
Wow. So talk about being thrown into the deep end, Brian. My goodness.
I was kind of lucky. I met Frank Saunders Sr. He was the lead drummer with the Finton Lawler Pipe Band for years. He would have been an odd. And Frank was involved with teaching the drummers at the time. So I got an awful lot of advice from him. And he introduced me to Tim Kehoe, who would have been the famous pipe major of the Finton Lawler Pipe Band. So between the two of them, I got a lot of coaching in the early days. And we took it from there. And the band's been going ever since. We celebrated 50 years this year.
That's it, and congratulations.
And I was a pipe major, and I gave up the pipe major job, and other lads took it over, and I came back again, and I'm a bit like a boomerang.
I just keep coming back, Brian. Yeah, there you go.
I want to, but yeah.
So that's quite an interesting origin story, and I'm sure it's been, throughout those 50 years, it's been quite a storied history of the band. You know,
we've travelled a lot, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
Our band chairman, Matt Ryan, he says to me, "Brian, when we're abroad, would you ever stop talking to people?" Because we always end up with a new bunch of friends. And we had, for example, we were in Lorient and in Brittany, and we met. Before that, I had been in contact with the only band in Mexico, San Patricio band, and they came to New Ross for a week and came over to the World. It was in 2013, and we made we've had a lot of bands down from the north of Ireland, and we have brought bands over with us to Lorient on umpteen occasions, and we've made friends all over the place. Yeah, I've made great friends in the north of Ireland. Ray McGowan up in Dungannon there, and I often spend nights over in Ray's house, and we'd be sitting at 4 o'clock in the morning drinking lemonade and practice chanters in front of us and going through tunes and things like that. But it's been fabulous, yeah.
Good stuff. Well, you mentioned those trips to Lorient, and that's been something that New Ross District has been really quite fond of this last while. Can you tell us about those trips? What is, the attraction there for the band?
There was one period in our history where we were, I was school teacher, so we didn't have a whole lot of time for teaching kids. We were down to maybe 8 or 9 pipers, and I think for 8 or 9 years, I just got fed up with competition. I just said, other bands went through that period and said, I'm just tired doing this. And when we did go back in the competition, we started, rather than going to the Worlds, we went to the Scottish Championships. We'd fly over on a Friday and compete in Dumbarton and come back Saturday evening or Sunday morning, and it was less of a pressure zone. And we had decent pipers and drummers, but we just didn't have enough of them. So eventually, that's how the trips came about. I was always fascinated with the Breton culture and things like that. And I organise the pipe bands every year now for Lorient, and I organise the music for the stadium. And so I've always I actually even learned to speak French fairly fluently and things like that.
Oh, wow.
And, so we've been going back and forward. We've had loads of friends, about 20 people from Lorient over here for a concert and things like that. We managed to get a brilliant gig one time to the Vatican in Rome, of all places.
Oh, goodness. Wow. Tell us about that.
2000, I just taken over as school principal.
Right.
And I got a phone call one day, you can imagine, hello, this is the Vatican. I said,
and you're like,
yeah. All the other ones, And they said, yes, we'd like your pipe band to come over for a Christmas concert. And I said, well, it wasn't. I was the secretary of I was the national secretary. That's what I'd forgotten at the time. And were you looking for a pipe band to what? To go to Rome? Yeah. How much will that cost? No, we'll bring you. Oh, really? No, yeah. So send me an email.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into the staff room, then to the staff, and said, okay, guys, who was acting the mick here?
Yeah.
And obviously nobody was. And we ended up doing a concert with a whole load of famous people, and we just couldn't believe it. I think I'm the only person in Ireland that actually got elbowed by the Pope.
You got elbowed?
I got elbowed by him.
I think there's a story there. What happened, Brian?
Well, we were asked to sit down and to get a photograph taken, and we had told beforehand that you wouldn't actually be meeting the Pope. We played for him, right. But we sat down anyway, and I was sitting in the chair because I was in charge of the band, and then I got elbowed, and I looked around, and here was John Paul II. He was getting fairly well on at the time, and he said, thank you very much. And I said, sure, no bother. What else on the weekend, But and we had two of our members at the time that were with us were actually would have been Church of Ireland members, and they had a great fun being in the Vatican. But it was really, I mean, it's irrespective of what I'm totally unreligious, and I think the local clergy in New Ross were very upset that I got the audience with the Pope. But anyway, but yeah, we got a photograph taken, and
there you go.
That led to we've done 3 trips to America now. We've been to Lithuania to an opera festival. We've been to the north of Spain to La Coruña, Vigo, for a Celtic festival, all parts of France. And I think when you start doing these things, I think the thing that made the difference, we did our first away trip with the band would have been 1978 or 79, and it was to Nottingham. Remember the time the Worlds was held over 2 days. Mm-hmm. And we had a few issues with a couple of the members who wouldn't go to bed, and the manager was saying, you got to talk to these guys, which I did. And he said, well, but we're not in band uniform now. And I said, I don't care whether you're in band uniform or not. You're a member of the band, you're booked in as the band, get to your bed or you'll never come to another practice. So they went to their beds, and we kind of made that through. So no matter where we go, the lads can have a great time, but if we're up for 7 or 8 in the morning, you're there in uniform, and if you can't do that, don't go on trips.
No, there you go.
Yeah. There is a discipline involved in it. And once you do an away trip successfully and do the job and do the business, you get the invitations back.
Well, that's it too, as well. Yeah, you're quite right, Brian.
We have great fun. Fun.
So can I ask you about the reception of the band then internationally on these trips? How have you found the music travels?
Fabulous. I mean, as you know, in Ireland, people wouldn't cross the road to listen to a pipe band.
Yeah.
Because it's so common. People look at us and, there's the band. Okay, so
that's it.
You go to France, as soon as you appear on the street, there's people crowding around looking for photographs. And
wow,
it's a great experience for young musicians, I find. We always started bringing kids out to the trips. And in France, you can't go wrong. You put a couple of kids on the stage, and no matter what level they're playing at, they see these kids with discipline, and they see them being smart, and they see them playing their couple of tunes, and they're fascinated with it, and they love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
There you go. Oh, that's fantastic.
We'd always put the youngest player out doing the solo piece, or the most inexperienced player, not the best player, but the little girl who's just gone 11 or 12 doing the solo, and that just melts the heart. And they just it's a different ballgame. You're only playing Highland cathedrals and sleeping tunes and things like that, and
Yeah.
stuff. And a foreign audience would go. We play a couple of Breton tunes in our repertoire and things like that. So
I see. And then the kids themselves end up feeling like rock stars, because they got a huge
Exactly,
reception,
yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
they're getting their photographs taken and they're getting treated like royalty, and it's fabulous. Yeah, we've had lots of kids. I think possibly per head of population, your Ross probably has more pipers and drummers than any small town in the south of Ireland anyway. But they're not all playing at the one time, because some guys, Nigel has gone, he's up at Major Sinclair Memorial in Belfast, and we have one of our drummers playing with O'Toole's, and we encourage that. We don't try and hold on to them. It's a little bit different in the south. There's maybe only 30 bands in the Republic, probably only 15 to 20 competing. The nearest band to us would be the guys in Gorey, and that's 30 miles away. So there's no, when you play in a band in the Republic, you tend to be a member of that band for life. Yeah. And even if you go play with O'Toole's or something like that, you'll eventually come back to your home base. And it's a little bit different. The way the bands are so close in the north, a whole drum will transfer. That's kind of unheard of down here,
Yeah, that's pretty common north of the border. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think the south is much more kind of parochial loyalty and county loyalty, and this is your home place, and this is the band you play in. So, but we've never stopped players from migrating to other bands for if they're playing in higher grades and things like that. We've always encouraged it, and
always encourage that opportunity. Yeah,
because if you spend years training kids to play, well, go play. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, that's a good ethos to live by, certainly. Yeah. So in that 50-year tenure of New Ross and District, can you tell me, has the band won any big championships, any notable big wins?
Well, we our first All Ireland was in Newcastle in, what year was it? 87. Mm-hmm. That was a grade 3A with about 20, back in the days when there was 22 bands in grade 3A.
Yeah, that was huge. Yeah,
that was our first major breakthrough. We preferred the Scottish to the Worlds for many years. Just we didn't have the huge numbers for the Worlds, so we would have gone to the Scottish 3, 4, 5 times. But we always got into the top 6.
Yeah,
4th to 5th or 6th. We weren't winning material, but we were competitive. Then we went on. I brought in one of my younger players as a pipe major. And we had to regrade back to 4A, but we managed to win the Scottish, the All-Ireland and the Worlds in the 1 year in 4A. We won the All-Ireland and the Worlds in 3B the following year. Band went as far as grade 2, but by the time you get up to grade 2, we were becoming over-reliant on non-New Ross players coming through.
Right, I see.
And COVID set in anyway, and that's kind of fell asunder. So we're back in 4A with few of the old boys and a good few of the new kids. We had a 4B and a 2 going for a number of years, and on occasion we had a 4B band competing in Lorient on the same day the grade 2 was competing in the Worlds.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah, being able to split the band like that.
So
that's how it works. Yeah.
By me handing the job over, I was always trying to get rid of the job. I found. To teach a band at grade 2 level or grade 3, as we were for most of our careers, would have been grade 3. You don't have the time. And I was teaching, and I was a principal teacher, and didn't have. So I always enjoyed the teaching aspect of it. I much prefer sitting down with classes and starting kids off in the chanter and working with the individuals. And if we have a pipe major material in the band, then we encourage them to take on that role and do it. And Nigel did it for maybe 10, 12, 13 years. So. He's now living in the north of Ireland and working away up there, but we're all keep in touch with him. He'll always be a New Ross player, no matter where he goes.
Oh, I was going to say, you always have that tie. Yeah, absolutely. So, Brian, as you say now, newly, have a new grade allocated to the band and everything. What are the plans now for the future for New Ross?
Well, work our way back up. I think our natural home is the grade 3 level. Mm-hmm. We managed to encourage a few of the older drummers back. And a good few of the pipers back. Now, the way I look at the band at the moment, we're playing catch up because they're coming in one after the other. We had our 50th anniversary. I did encourage a few of them that were just sitting on the fence. I'll get back and we play. Yeah. So we're going to compete, and we have a local competition here, and we're going to the All Ireland in Derry, London area, and we're going to the Worlds. So we went last year. We didn't feature at all. Our ambition would be, if we qualify for the final, we'd be thrilled. And just to keep building on that, try and get to 3B, try and get to 3A.
That's
I
it.
know
Just keep
real desire to
playing,
go back to grade 2. I think grade 2 has gone to such a state, you really need a lot of bodies on the ground to get to that level. And then when you get to grade 2, then you have to start dropping players. And if you're in a small town situation and you're trying to bring players up through the ranks, dropping them isn't an easy option. So I didn't mind doing that when we had 2 bands. So if you couldn't hack it at the higher level, you could come to the lower level.
Yeah.
But if you're at the 1 band, I think what we'd like to aim for is around about the 3A.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actively looking for a pipe major at the moment, but in the meantime, I'll do it. But we have a couple of young players coming up who are quite talented, and we're not pushing them in any particular direction, but we would always encourage them to get in, teaching the classes and things like that, you know. So
excellent. Well, I have to say, I've really enjoyed the music from New Ross and District over this last while. I don't know what it is about your tune selection, but especially the medleys over the last couple of years. It's been really interesting. Has there been any standout sets for yourself, Brian, that you've really enjoyed playing over the years?
I don't think so. Well, Nigel would have picked the medleys of the last couple of years, me before that. But we've always been experimental enough. We've always trying to arrange our own things and, you know, pick up catchy tunes, and there's no particular formula to it. If we like a piece, we'll give it a run. We had a concert in New Ross there just a month ago. Mm-hmm. We're only a small town band, but we can fill the local theatre, 300 people who will come in and listen to pipe band.
Yeah,
so, you know, but we'd have a selection. We bring a backing group. We have musicians, we have a guitar player, we have a keyboard player, we have a trad group within the band, we have a flute player, banjo player, box players, whistle players, you know, so you're putting on an entertainment show, but it's a pipe band putting on the entertainment. And people are looking for more. We have an outdoor concert now coming up again during Heritage Week here, and it's in our local park. It's like an amphitheatre, and that's usually the best attended show. We would get 200 to 300 people coming to that on a summer evening.
Fantastic. Well, that's what I was going to say, Brian, just in conclusion, is that this is one band that's always been really well supported by the local community. And I'm so glad to hear that the band is involved in the local community too.
Very much so. I mean, I was during lockdown there. I won't mention now. Well, I will. A guy called Paddy Breen. He has a local business, and he's a hardware store. And I had to stop going into the shop because if I went to the shop to get a can of paint, I'd be coming out with €300 in my back pocket for the band. You know, and Paddy just comes to all the shows, and we collect. We play out Christmas Eve, which is a huge tradition in Ross. Last Christmas Eve, I think there was an estimate of 2,000 people on the streets.
Whoa. Wow!
And we had collection buckets, and we collected close on €4,000.
Holy moly, Brian! That's mad.
People come from 20 miles away for the bands at Christmas Eve. We play Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus down, put a bit of effort into it. Had some of the kids dressed up as gnomes and things like that. And sure, I always up to Santa Claus anyway. So, but people come bring their families down now, and we do the parade across the quays at 3:00, and everybody's waiting in what we call South Street. And we play Christmas carols and stuff like that. We play all the
brilliant.
And all the kids go off then to get, and it's just become, we're doing that now since the early 70s, mid 70s.
There you go. And we've been reporting on that on the show each year. And the photos and videos and selfies and stuff, people just seem to have the best time, Brian.
Tremendously smart. Our local concert now, we're charging €15 a head in, and we filled all the seats. We had a raffle, and that took in €1,000.
There you are. That's fantastic to see that the band's got such support.
Yeah, we never struggled for money financially, but we give it back. We go out. If they ask us to play at anything locally, we're out there playing.
Yeah, that's it too.
And that's part of the fun of pipe. Sometimes you just get too involved in the competition all the time. Now we're hunting for competition again, and we're getting into competition mode. But we still like to do the local little field days or the local parades, or somebody looking for a GM match on Saturday. And you might only have 5 or 6 pipers with you, but you go up and you play for them.
There we go. Excellent. Well, Brian, thank you so much for taking time to chat with us on the show. It's been fascinating hearing more about the band, and best wishes for the rest of the season.
Your shows, so I just figure it's great to contribute something.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Million Rab, thank you.
There you go. Talk about a band that is involved in their local community in every way possible, and the support that they get. honestly is really heartwarming to see. And whenever you see New Ross and District Pipe Band out and about at a competition, then, as you just heard from Brian, they're not short of a bob or two. So if you're wanting someone to buy you a pint in the beer tent, make sure they're a member of New Ross and District. Oh, I'm teasing, of course. But no, genuinely, it is great to see that the band is so well supported. And it shows. The level of music and performances that the band has produced over the years has just been brilliant to watch. Again, a huge thank you to Brian for joining us on the show this week. Really do appreciate your time. And hearing the story of New Ross and District. Good stuff. Looking forward to this incoming season now. Oh! All right, folks, that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast. Thank you all for downloading this week and each and every week. And here, don't forget to tell your mates about our wee show, about what we're doing over here, talking about what we know and love to be the music of the great Highland Bagpipe and its people. And before I go, I do want to give one final plug about the Scots Trad Music Awards. I know you're probably sick of hearing me talking about it by now, but voting does close on Sunday. All right, Sunday the 16th of November. Is it 16th or 17th? Someone of the two. But it closes this weekend. All right. So if you haven't yet placed your vote, please do. We need every vote possible. And we cannot win the thing without you. So please get your votes in. We absolutely need everyone. And hopefully next time I'll be standing here talking about the trads. I'll be talking about hi. Thank you for your votes. Yeah. All right. So, yes, just checking the listings here. The voting does close on the 16th of November at midnight. So, there you are. You've been warned. Please send us in your votes for the trads. Every vote counts. And, here's hoping. All right, folks. That's it. I am out the door. Thank you all for listening this week. And I will catch you all in the next one. But we'll be back with another quite interesting topic of the week to get into. Indeed. Until then, folks, I will see you all in the next one. All the best.
Well, that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast. Thanks so much for downloading this week, and a special thank you to our sponsor, G1 Reeds. Played by bands around the world, they are the champion's choice. Check out g1reeds.com for all of your piping needs. Don't forget to check out thebigrabshow.com to be kept up to date with all of the latest news and views from around the piping world. And also, check us out on Patreon. For $5 a month, you can get your hands on tons of extra piping goodness and be a part of the Patreon faithful. So, until next week, folks, we'll see you right here on the Big Rab Show Podcast. All the best.